first birthday. Today, county leaders did something to change that. Here's News Center 7's Mike Campbell.
We need the legislation in place because that enables dollars to come.
Dr. Andre Morris worked for years in the community and is now Chief Medical Officer at Miami Valley Hospital. He's pleased the county took this big step to push for healthy babies and mothers, but this is just the start of the work.
Making sure that the community, the West Dayton in particular, has the doctors there, has the pediatricians, obstetricians.
Morris says the support system helps mothers be healthy in 9 months of pregnancy and helps moms and babies grow healthy in that all-important first year. The leaders of this push, the Greater Dayton Area Hospital Association and the county's Office of Strategic Initiatives, presented the plan to commissioners Tuesday.
How do we make sure that they have everything set up from them from the minute they're born to be successful in our community?
What we're focusing on are those deaths that are the preventable deaths, things that we can positively impact as a community.
Sarah Hockenbrock told me healthy babies happen when mothers have education, prenatal care, and access to resources. To bring the infant mortality rate down, you have to bring the amount of available resources for mothers up.
At the same time, we're going to have hard conversations as a community around economic inequality, structural racism, unmet health needs.
Mike Campbell, News Center 7.
We also looked at the infant mortality rate across our area to let you know how the problem is where you live. Now, the latest numbers from the state show Montgomery County with the highest rate over 5 years at around 8 deaths per 1,000 births. Clark County is next with around 7 per 1,000 births. Miami and Greene counties have the same rate, around 6 deaths per 1,000 births. New video to show you tonight. Dayton police said what you see here is 2 people breaking into a house. And once inside, they held the people in the home at gunpoint. Take a look. This happened Sunday on Grove Avenue. Investigators said the people inside the home did not get hurt, and they do not know why their house was targeted. If you recognize these people, know anything about the 2 in the video, or the white BMW that they apparently got out of, Dayton police said they'd like to hear from you. New developments, the Humane Society of Greater Dayton is temporarily caring for more than a dozen cats after a fire destroyed their home. Crews rescued 15 cats from the house on Joyce Drive in Miami Township on Thursday. A few did not make it out. The Humane Society said it took in 14 of those cats as the homeowner looks for a new place to live. She visited the animals at the shelter today. The Humane Society said a social worker is helping her get through this difficult time. Storm Center 7 weather specialist in for Storm Center 7 Chief Meteorologist Austin Cheney tonight. Milton keeps going back and forth a little bit when it comes to wind speeds, but it's still catastrophic is what you're describing it as.
It's going to be a pretty devastating situation for those that get impacted, especially right there at landfall. And here's a look at the latest data. Now you look at the storm and it really doesn't look that large geographically. You can see it's not nearly as big as Helene was, but still going to be very impactful. Right there in the core of that where you see that spinning 5, number one, that's an indication it's a Category 5 storm, but that's where the core of the strongest winds are right now, sitting at 160 miles per hour. And that is sustained wind. That is not the actual wind gusts. Those gusts are even higher than that. The latest track that was just updated here within the last few minutes, continuing to slightly shift things just a little bit to the south of Tampa, but I don't want you to focus necessarily on the category number or where exactly it's still projected to make landfall. Wherever this comes on shore, it is going to cause some pretty big impacts for you. You're talking storm surge over 10 feet in some cases, and that's certainly not going to be very good, along with the very heavy rain, the intense wind, and even an isolated tornado threat as well. Now, this will emerge back into the Atlantic. Not going to be an impact to us across the Miami Valley, but those in Florida should hopefully be finishing their preparations. Also, as we take a look right now at live Doppler 7 radar, we're sitting at 56 degrees in dry weather here across the Miami Valley. Urbana and Springfield already down into the 40s. And we have high pressure and control. And here's kind of a wider view of that. This big blue H, this will be pretty much our sponsor, if you will, for the weather for the next several days. That's going to keep Hurricane Milton quite a ways away from us here in the Miami Valley. Tonight, though, overnight lows quite chilly. Lower 40s here in town. You get away from town, especially to the north. We're into the middle 30s for some cases, and some of you had some patchy frosts last night into the early hours of this morning. I would not be totally surprised to see that happen once again tomorrow. So the kids, they're going to definitely need a jacket as they go out to the bus stop early in the morning. But by the time they come home in the afternoon with temperatures getting back into the lower and even in many cases the middle 70s, they won't need the jacket, but make sure they bring it home because they'll want that really for the rest of the week in the morning time, as those overnight lows will be in the 40s and in some cases the 30s really for the rest of the week. Now, Futurecast, I'm going to let this play through. As you notice, there's hardly a cloud to be found anywhere towards Wednesday afternoon. If you get take into Thursday, you notice there's just nothing here. That's because bright sunshine will take care of us during the daytime. It will have clear conditions at night, keeping things nice and very fall-like for the next several days. Your high forecast temperatures for tomorrow ranging from near 70 to the middle 70s. And this is really right about where we should be for this time of the year. Those overnight lows in the 40s are a little bit below average for this time of the year. But let's take a look at my Storm Center 7-day forecast, because as we look ahead towards this weekend, those temperatures rebounding to above average levels there for Saturday, highs in the upper 70s. A cold front comes through on Sunday. It may spark a shower, but look what that does to us next week. How about upper 50s to around 60 for a high both Monday and Tuesday?
Thanks, Nick. Tonight, we want to take a moment to shout out a special member of the WHIO TV family. Former Northern Bureau Chief Steve Baker got a surprise today when Honor Flight recognized him for his service in Vietnam. Steve served in the U.S. Navy from 1966 to 1970. He told us he was surprised by the recognition, and he thanked his wife, Marty, daughter, and siblings for celebrating with him. And of course, on behalf of all of us here at WHIO, Steve, we love you. We'd like to say congratulations and thank you for your service. The Supreme Court is taking a closer look at ghost guns. We'll break down the reason the untraceable weapons are being looked at by the High Court.